Mom threatened not to let me vote if I don't register as a Republican. By user Disgruntled Boba, 21 of here. You're probably wondering why I can't just drive myself. I, unfortunately, have migraines that make it a safety hazard for me to drive, and I'm working with a doctor to get them under control. So, my mom opened my mail a few months back and saw that I registered as a Democrat. They send out paper ID cards. She started harassing me at work and telling me that the Democrats destroyed the country. Typical MAGA rants. We let it die off, but a few days ago, she started on me again. She started screaming, crying, and pounding her fists on the table, telling me she won't drive me to vote unless I change my party. She then accused me of not caring about her suffering and called me a traitor. She said things were so much better under Trump when we could afford things, and if you love me, you'd vote Republican. I'm really upset right now because why does my mom think it's okay to interfere with my inalienable right to vote? I thought Republicans were all about their First Amendment, freedom of making up their own minds, etc. Being facetious, I know this only applies to Paul who agree with them. I'm just really exhausted from having to do mental gymnastics to do the most basic things while this Riley sucks. I'm not even too upset about her whole "you don't care about my suffering" thing because I literally grew up with her accusing me of not loving her if I asked to go hang out with my friends. I know how to navigate that. Tired of it, but I manage. I'm more upset with her blatantly telling me she refuses to take me to vote unless I vote her way. My crazy Mormon dad texted this last night. By user deleted. Copy and pasted below. If you want to ignore the gospel and teachings of Jesus Christ and the church and decide to keep buying immodest clothing and listening to music and not reading your scriptures and praying, dating outside the church and acting like a typical worldly used up whore and continue to live as if you're a clone of Satan, I don't want you in my home. I don't care where you go. I don't care if you live on the streets. I texted you that eviction notice. I don't want you in my life. I don't need you. You need me. You have chosen the world over the gospel, and you are not someone I want to interact with. You will not get anything from us when we pass. It will go to the church. You get your sorry butt home now and throw these clothes away. You have several shorts that go above the knees. You have been raised better than this. You are 22, not 12. Act like it. Karen wants my seat for her kid. By user Lazy Cat Insomniac. Hi, first I'd like to just say I didn't think this sort of thing happened where I'm from. I'm from England. But here we are. Today, I had a late appointment with the midwife and couldn't seem to get an Uber. Was waiting for almost 20 minutes for a driver, so decided to get the bus. But nice to know that was a mistake. Getting on the bus was normal, and I sat at the front of the bus in a single seat next to the window, still panicking about being late for my appointment. That was until the next stop where a mother got on with an older kid and younger kid. The older kid got on just fine and went to find a seat. But as the bus started moving, someone tapped my shoulder, and I looked down to see the younger kid. Yeah, can I sit here? Me. Sorry, bud. It's a bit difficult for me to move right now. Yeah. Why? Me. Casual with my big belly. I pointed at my stomach. I got a baby. Yeah. There's a baby hiding in your belly. Me. Yes. But he'll be here next month. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Thanks. He walks over to his mother, who sat in a double seat. I sighed and looked out the window and began to text my friends. Then remembered I needed to exalt the doctors that I was going to be late. Pregnancy brain. But as I was pulling up the doctor's number, the mother began row talk to the person behind her loudly about rude and lazy teens and how no one likes to be kind to kids nowadays. Now I'm not very comfortable with confrontation. However, with all my bundled pregnancy hormones, I've been a lot better at speaking up for myself. So I sighed and turned to her as she glared at me and loudly began, so are you going to let me kid sit down yet? Me. There's plenty of seats on the bus. I'm sure he can sit wherever, but I can't exactly move right now, especially whilst the bus is moving. See what I mean? Turns to the poor guy behind her again. Lazy teens. Me. I'm not lazy, just heavily pregnant. You're not pregnant, you just look fat to me. I was in a large hoodie, but even with that, you could tell I had a lovely belly sticking out in an impressive way. Honestly, in some tops, I look ridiculous. Look me. I am pregnant. I'm also due next month, so I can't afford any accidents so late into my pregnancy. At this point, and pointed at me in disgust. Kids your age shouldn't be getting pregnant. That's disgusting. Me. Not that you need to know, but I'm 24. How is that disgusting? There's no way you're 24, you ate a small. Stop lying. Yes, I'm pretty short for my age, 5'4" for anyone wanting to know. At this point, I just ignored her and called up the doctor with her complaining loudly in the background. Nothing exciting, like her being kicked off the bus or anything. The bus drivers tend to keep to themselves unless a fight breaks out physically. I spent years reading about these people, but never actually seen in person. So this was a new one for me. However, the looks isn't something I'm not used to. I get a lot of the older generation glaring at me since I've gotten bigger in my pregnancy. Now I don't think I look younger, but my sister tells me I do, and that being paired with my height probably isn't helping my case. Quick edit. I didn't mean all the older generation. Sorry if that came across as rude. I just mean the looks I've been getting are from people quite a bit older than me. I'm sure the rest of you are lovely. Edit 2. For things I've seen a lot in the comments, the bus I was on was a small 23-seater bus that usually have a single seat behind the driver on a slightly raised platform. And as a quiet person who just wanted a nice quiet trip, I kind of wanted the only single seat there. This bus didn't have marked seating for elderly, disabled, pregnant people. But did the 3 seats you can flip up for wheelchairs, prams? Also, other than me, there was only a poor guy she kept complaining to on the before him and her kids got on the bus. So there was plenty of seating for her and her kids. Tells me to walk home. So I did. By user Rainbow Drone F YouTube. So this happened a few hours ago, and I will give the base of context. Me, of course. My lovely former foster mother, who cannot be wrong about anything. So today I had an orthodontist appointment to get released from my retainers. My goodness, those things were a pain if you fidget with your tongue. And my lovely former foster mother wanted me to come over. She offered to pay me to help clean out the trailer behind her house because her renters just up and left pretty much everything they owned behind. So we had to find anything of value and set it aside. I found all kinds of stuff like a webcam and box knife, hunting knife, and a knife sharpening brick. Well, it gets to about lunchtime. And once I eat lunch, I go back towards the trailer, and as I'm about to start working, I wanted to listen to some music on Spotify since I had 3 months of premium for free thanks Microsoft Rewards. My lovely Am gets angry and demands I turn my music off. Meanwhile, there's other music blasting in different directions because it's more than just me cleaning out that trailer, and I point that out, and she starts getting more belligerent and adamant that I turn my music off because she can't stand the music I like. Then she slaps the ultimatum down that either I turn off my music or I go home, which I decided to go home since there's no arguing with a person who believes they're the only ones allowed to be right. I go to get in her car and then she slaps me with this, turn that damn cursed music off or walk home. Oh, fine. I'll walk, but at least let me unlock the bike that I own. You disrespected me, and for that you walk home. She obviously didn't think I would. So that's when I take off walking towards where I live, which noted is about 5 miles from where she lives. So I get 1/4 of the way there, and she calls me. At first I didn't want to answer, but some guy told me to. Well, I answered and put it on speaker to let her hear the road noise, to let her know I wasn't bluffing. And I get screamed at for making her look bad and blah, blah, blah. Honestly, I was too angry and anxious to remember what happened afterwards. But she did mention that she expects payback for all of my braces and retainer appointments because she apparently wasted her gas and all that lovely garbage of a narcissistic parent. Oh, and also she's trying to force me to out into her middle of nowhere because then I can't walk to the store. I'll have to keep contact if I want to eat. Anyways, thanks for listening. Reading. My toxic dad wonders why I don't want to spend time with him. By user Brewing Lady. 3. My dad was having a conversation with me and it eventually led to abortion topics. I told him how abortion makes me sad, but if a woman really needs one, that is her choice. He got aggressive and said that the baby is in danger, but thinks that women should get an abortion pill early after getting raped or something. He was raising his voice and really gave me a hard time. The conversation escalated further as trans people got brought up. He told me there were documentations in Europe that trans youth sometimes have health issues from heart, and it's a major concern. I told him that in most cases, trans people are frequently monitored by doctors with blood work to make sure they are healthy. My dad questioned my source, and I told him trans activists shared their stories and experiences from others. Told him how Republicans are way too obsessed with trans people and that they are a small percentage of the human population, and we should be worried about other issues. Then my dad says that trans people are messed up in the head, and that doctors are mutilating them when there is nothing wrong with their bodies, and that's messed up, and that they need mental fixing. And he kept on yelling me and telling me I'm screwed up for supporting these people and abortion, made multiple threats of kicking me out. Meanwhile, I was trying to stay as calm and reasonable as possible.
but he said that I failed to go by the Christian morals I was raised with.
It's also worth pointing out he was especially abusive when I came out trans, but I'm currently back in the closet. And then he wonders why I don't want to spend with him. He tried planning for us to go to an aquarium or a battleship museum, but I made it clear that it would be cool to go to those places. But I'd rather go with friends who live around the area. He got so pissed off. Despite all of this, he claims to be a fan of Star Trek and the X-Men.